This is the Samsung Galaxy A17 4G and it comes with a 1080p AMOLED display, IP54 splash-proof rating, as well as a 50MP triple camera setup, which is pretty insane for about 210,000 naira. But don't be too excited because there's a huge problem which is so bad, I think it might actually make this phone the worst value 2025 has to offer. Let's begin with the unboxing experience. Inside you are still getting the same quite generous package from Samsung, a phone, a couple of paperwork, a USB Type-C cable, and that's all. I know it's not surprising to see this, but Samsung literally provided some accessories with the Galaxy A07, which was really cool. I just feel like it would have been better if they had provided those little additions to spice things up a bit, but I guess it's not something we should be expecting anytime soon. And if you're enjoying this video, then kindly smash that subscribe button right now for more videos just like this one. Thank you. On to the design and build quality. This is my first issue with this phone. This phone literally costs about 200,000 naira, and most phones at this price range boast of new durability features such as 1.5 meters drop resistance or IP64 waterproof rating. However, with this phone you are not getting anywhere near to that level of protection. It's constructed entirely from plastic, which is not unheard of at that price. It has only the weaker IP4 splash-proof rating, which isn't actually recommended for submersion into water. And as for drop resistance, don't try dropping it except if you have money to replace the phone. You don't get proper screen protection and you don't even get a screen protector in the box. In fact, nothing comes in the box. The design itself is okay, but it's still far from what I'd call pretty, in as much as the cameras look uniform in that model. I think I still prefer the separation which you get from last year's A16. It's also more slippery and prone to fingerprint smudges, which isn't good, especially when you consider how much you are paying to get it. Now let's talk external features and see how things are. The Galaxy A17 doesn't really have much and is in some cases very similar in this category to the A07, which released some time ago. It has a side-mounted fingerprint scanner, which isn't the fastest but is quite accurate and reliable around 90% of the time. Sure, most phones at this price come with an under-display fingerprint scanner, but let's not complain too much. There's a SIM card slot which supports one nano SIM card and a hybrid SIM, which means you can either choose having a secondary SIM card or a memory card. There's also no headphone jack on this phone, but I believe the thing I hate the most about this phone's external features are its speakers. It's a single bottom firing mono speaker and it's actually terrible for the price. In my opinion, they should have done much better. That leads us to display, and in this area there are some things which I love and some which I totally hate. The good thing about this screen is that it's a 1080p AMOLED panel with a 90Hz refresh rate. The display is sharp, color accurate and contrasty. Whenever you're consuming content, whether it be your favorite YouTube videos or just movies in general, you would notice how good everything looks. But you will also notice a few things which aren't supposed to be there, such as the outdated tiered up notch, as well as the pretty obnoxious chin at the bottom. And 90Hz isn't something to be excited about. It's smooth, but not as smooth as the 120Hz you can get on cheaper phones. What about performance? How good is this phone in handling activities? First of all, I have to say that this phone is powered by the MediaTek Helio G99, which makes it handle applications efficiently. Apps run smoothly, multitasking is a breeze, and when it also comes down to gaming, this phone can handle a lot of high demanding games like Call of Duty Mobile and more. However, there's a huge problem here, and it's not about what the chipset does, it's about what the chipset is itself. This Galaxy A17 is powered by the MediaTek Helio G99, which is okay, but isn't the G99 the same chipset which powered the entry-level A07 and made that phone the best performer at its price range? If a phone which costs less than 150k performs exactly like this one which costs about 200k, what then is the point of buying a phone like this? Is it the 1080p resolution or the AMOLED panel? I guess not, but there are some things about this phone which we still have to find out before actually concluding, so let's move on. And that's onto the software experience. The Samsung Galaxy A17 4G runs on One UI 7 slapped on Android 15, and I'd be lying if I said this software isn't good. It does lack a lot of things you can find on others like AI features, free link, even a simple screen recorder, but it has its own edge. For one, the customization is one of the very best, if not the best. You can customize almost every aspect of this phone in such a unique, amazing way that it makes it look like you, and I'm very impressed. But the most impressive area is the software support they are providing. 6 years of constant Android updates, and even though I don't think this phone will last that long, it's a refreshing feeling that this phone will support a lot of future software. But what about the battery experience? This is one area which is still relatively the same with other Samsung phones I've ever seen. You are getting the usual deal, a 5000 mAh battery with 25 watts charging, and even if it's the best standard as the battery lasts the whole day and the charging time is under 2 hours, I still feel that it's time Samsung shakes this up before they are left behind by the competition. So Samsung, do this before it's too late. That leads us to the final category, the cameras. This camera setup is essentially the same thing as last year's A16, a 50 megapixel main camera, a 5 megapixel ultra wide camera and a 2 megapixel macro lens. The photos on this phone, especially with that 50 megapixel sensor, is pretty good. The colors are quite consistent and it gets to keep some dynamic range. It also has optical image stabilization, so it doesn't take too long to snap a good photo. The video on the rear is capped at 1080p and it's pretty decent with some stabilization going on. And on the front we are getting a 30 megapixel selfie camera which shoots in 1080p as well. So in conclusion to all of this, the Samsung Galaxy A17 4G looks like a newer upgrade to the A10 lineup with a brand new design and more features. However, I still think this is a terrible value for money as it's identical to the A16 in almost all aspects and is also quite identical to the much cheaper A07. I compared the two and the only advantage this phone has over the A07 is the display type, the screen resolution and the slightly better cameras, which I don't think justifies the 75,000 naira gap. And if you are someone who is thinking about upgrading to this one from the A16, I don't think you should do that. They are basically the same. Now you can clearly see that the Galaxy A07 gives a much better value because of its extremely cheap price. If you want to know everything about it, click the card on the screen right now and I'll tell you all about it.